What up, YouTube? It's your boy TeeJax back here with another video. I'm TeeJax, TeeJaxson, Tristan, whatever you want to call me. Look, man, NBA Conference Finals wrapped up. There were some fire series, even though they were over kind of quick and they were kind of lopsided, but still some good basketball to watch. I'm super excited for this finals. Real quick, I'm gonna just get this out the way. We're growing in views, we're growing in subscriber count. Keep fucking with me. I appreciate y'all for coming back. Hit that subscribe button and like this video if you fucking with my content. I'm gonna just go over the series, starting in the West and going to the East, and then I'm gonna talk about future outlook for all the teams, and then just a little bit of a finals preview. Nothing too crazy. Starting out in the West, the Timberwolves had an interesting path to get to this finals. After trading away Karl-Anthony Towns at the end of last season, it just was a mystery going into the season what this team was going to be with Julius Randle. I feel like we knew what their floor was going to be. Like, we knew they were still going to be a playoff team with the defense of Gobert, the offensive punch given by, Naz Reid, DiVincenzo, and Julius Randle, and then obviously the star power of Anthony Edwards. Like, they weren't a team that was just going to be like dog shit, but like they really didn't have a great regular season, and they were this close to not making the playoffs straight up and having to bid their way to the playoffs in the play-in game. That ended up being, the Warriors, Mavs, Kings, and Grizzlies that ended up fighting for that spot. But depending on how the end of the Warriors season specifically went, especially the Clippers as well, like the Timberwolves could have very easily just been out of the straight up playoffs. So good for them to just, make it in on their own merit without having to play a play-in game. They completely fucked over the Lakers in 5 in the first round. Anthony Edwards was looking like a top 3 player in the world at that time. Naz Reid was hitting shots, and Rudy Gobert had a legacy game to end the series. Coming round 2, they play a hobbled Warriors. Obviously, you see I got a Curry jersey on right now. I obviously think that the Warriors would have won that series if Curry wouldn't have been hurt, but hey, whatever. The Wolves lost the first game that Curry played, and then they won the next 4 straight that he didn't. They did what they were supposed to do. Look, you can't talk shit about a healthy team that beat an injured team if they beat them that confidently. They did what they were supposed to do. The Warriors were injured, and they beat them. Like, you can't talk shit about them for doing that. However, this is the second year in a row that they've made it to the conference finals and lost, kind of due to some not so stellar play from Anthony Edwards. I'm not trying to talk shit. Look, he's the superstar of the team. Next coming to MJ. But definitely not this series. He had a great game 3, but Timberwolves definitely have some shit to change if they want to be contending in the future, and I'll get to that in a second. Thunder had the path to the Western Conference Finals that we knew they were gonna have, right? They just completely fucked over the Grizzlies. Grizzlies almost won one game in a blowout, and they still lost that game. They also completely fucked over the Nuggets in the end, but it was a really good series that I really thought could have went either way, but the Thunder just showed who they were in game 7, and I was really confident into them going into this conference final series. Now, I do have something that I really need to take back. I said that I wanted the finals to be Timberwolves versus Knicks. Not only if I was a betting man would I have bet on Thunder Pacers, but also I didn't even really want the Knicks to make the finals. I definitely wanted the Pacers. I was tripping with that take. I completely take that back. But I had no shot at the Timberwolves actually winning the series. I had the Thunder winning this in 6, and sure enough, they took care of business in 5. Game 1, super confident game at home. I thought it was close for a second. I thought, maybe the Timberwolves had a chance, but sure enough, the Thunder ended up pulling it out. Game 2, once again, just absolutely smacked the Timberwolves were by the Thunder. So going back to home, it was really imperative that the Wolves took game 3, and they did in a fashion that I really don't think anyone was confident they were going to do. I thought the Wolves were going to win game 3, but not by 30 plus points. Are you kidding me? Everyone stepped up. Everyone played a really good game, specifically Julius Randle and shit like that. Coming into game 4, however, I thought this really could go either way. I thought there was a chance that the Timberwolves were able to put it together and go, back to the Thunder, tied 2-2. But either way, I still thought the Thunder were going to win the series. But after the Timberwolves lost game 4, I was like, yeah, no, it's just over for them. They had great contributing games from all of their role players in game 4. And then Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards were just ass. Like, you're not going to win a game versus the Thunder when neither of your star players are going crazy, no matter how good your bench does. So, yeah, good series. I mean, it was over after the 4th game. I thought there were definitely points in game 5 where it, like, looked like it might have got interesting for a second, but nah, the Thunder pretty quickly proved that that game was over and that they were going to the finals. Congrats to Shea for winning the Western Conference Finals MVP. He deserves it. I think he's going to be the first player since Curry in 2015 to win the regular season MVP and win a ring. And even Curry didn't win the finals MVP that year. So we have to go all the way back to like 2012. LeBron was the last time that a player won the MVP in the regular season, the finals, and the finals MVP. So Shea has a chance to do something that hasn't been done in over a decade. He's a really good player. I don't give a shit if you think he's a foul merchant or not. Like, he's a generational talent. SGA is here. Like, I don't know, like, wake the fuck up, open your eyes. Not everything he does is foul baiting, although I do think he does bait, more than he should, but he's not like just a free throw merchant. He literally averages like some of the least free throw attempts that we've seen in recent years by a player averaging 30 plus points a game. Like, he's just not like a complete and utter free throw merchant. His game is beautiful. He's got great footwork, great mid-range shooter, and he's really unstoppable with his bag of moves. Then you combine that with J-Dub just being an incredible defender and, player on offense. He was all defense this year, and he is the type of player that could crack all NBA here pretty soon. And then Chet wasn't all defense this year, but like, we all know that he's just one of those guys that even if he didn't make the team, like, he practically was all defense. We know the impact that he makes on that side of the floor. The Thunder just clicked and everyone really worked together. So happy to see them in the finals. I mean, I don't want them to win. I don't care about the Thunder, right? Like, I don't give a shit about their team, but like, I'm not hating either. Like, I don't think Shea is just the worst foul merchant in the world and he's just like ruining the game and I'm just hating on the Thunder. Like, no, they're a great young team with great pieces and good for them for making it this far, especially in a small market. Like, I watched the Warriors dominate the NBA for some years in a row, and like, even I can say that I'm kind of tired of that. Like, yeah, I don't like the new CBA and the way that teams can't just like repeat at all. Like, I don't like the way that it breaks up homegrown talent now. I do kind of want to make a video on the CBA here soon anyway, so maybe more for that later. But I just think that the Thunder are a really good team, and I'm happy to see them in the position that they are, and glad to see OKC fans actually get to watch a good team again for the first time in nearly a decade now. Moving on to the East, we have a less conventional matchup here. I think throughout the course of the entire season, everybody was just Cavs, Celtics, Cavs, Celtics, Cavs. Shit, I was too. I made one of the brackets on the NBA app and I had Cavs, Celtics being in the conference finals. I don't think that's a crazy thing to think. The Knicks started out their path by, making a move in the offseason to get Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo that had people thinking that they were going to be one of the top contenders in the East. And yes, they did end up the 3 seed, but the way they got there was quite unconventional. Like, they beat the dog shit out of some ass teams throughout the season, but they could just never beat the top dogs. Like, all of the Thunder, the Celtics, like the Cavs, like, they were just like dogging the Knicks, like, basically every matchup that they had this season. So people were like, oh yeah, the Knicks can't like face good talent like when it matters. I was never too worried about that. I was like, they're a good team, maybe they'll put it together, maybe they won't. But one of the things that I was super worried about was that Tom Thibodeau's rotations were gonna fuck this team over again in the playoffs this year, the way that it did last year. But he did calm down. He's not playing all of his players 50 fucking minutes a game, and not to mention, they got kind of lucky with injuries this year. None of their guys got major injuries, which it's kind of weird that there's so many injuries in the NBA nowadays that me saying one of their players didn't get injured is lucky, rather than saying that it's unlucky when somebody does get injured. But, it is what it is. Tom Thibodeau increased his rotations to play the bench players more. They beat my Detroit Pistons in a hard-fought 6-game series that I really think still could have went to the Pistons, but whatever, I'm a little bit biased there. And then in the second round, they took care of the Celtics in 6 games. I mean, I don't think anybody expected that. I think the Knicks played an incredible series. The first 2 games of that series, when they came back, I was like, oh, Celtics are fucked. It's over. And then Tatum gets hurt. Not like they were going to win the series if he didn't, but Tatum gets hurt. Series is over, man. The Pacers' journey to the conference finals is one that I really didn't expect. I didn't think that they were going to win either of their matchups. But, like, it's weird, though. Like, in hindsight, I really like this team. And you can say I'm bandwagoning, but it's like, every time that I've watched them and I've watched them play and, like, I've actually analyzed their game, I've enjoyed what I've seen from them on the court. Getting out on the break, playing team defense, moving the ball around, having your star player who's unselfish, and then everyone just fighting hard as fuck to get baskets. Like, that's good basketball. Like, that is fun basketball to watch. Like, I don't know why I was betting against the Pacers in the Bucks and the Cavs series. Well, I know why I bet against them in the Cavs series, but, like, I shouldn't have in hindsight, and I shouldn't have showed my love for this team this late, because now I look like a real bandwagon ass nigga. But I promise that I do actually fuck with the Pacers, and I'm really happy to see them in the finals now. The series started between the Pacers and the Knicks with crazy ass game 1. Tyrese Halliburton step back after Aaron Nesmith turns into Steph Curry and helps them on this like 18-point comeback in the last 3 minutes. Halliburton steps all the way back, toe on the line like KD game 7, breaks off the back of the rim, goes in, throws up the choke sign a little bit too early because it was a 2-pointer. Foot was on the line, like I said, but they ended up pulling that game out in OT. Very glad that they did, because they would have made fun of Halliburton forever for doing that if they didn't win the game. But they go into game 2, hard fought game 2, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure the Pacers were able to pull it out by like 6 points in regulation. So it's looking really dire for the Knicks. Like, if you go down 3-0, like, the series is over. We go back to Indiana. Sure enough, the Knicks did what they were supposed to do. They fought hard as hell. It was a great game that I thought that the Pacers were going to pull out, but the Knicks just had too much firepower at the end, and due to some heroics from Brunson and others, they ended up preventing the series from going down 3-0, and they got it to 2-1. But then, game 4, Pacers went crazy and pulled a win out at home that I expected them to. So now going back to New York, they're trying not to lose a game 5 at home, to give up a chance to go to the finals. And they just outworked the Pacers in that game. Like, I understand that you're up 3-1, but the Pacers' effort in game 5 was pretty abysmal. Like, the Knicks just looked like not only the better team, but the team that was just like trying harder. And in an NBA conference finals game, it's embarrassing to just genuinely be the team that's not trying as hard. Not just the team that lost. Like, you looked like you just didn't care as much as the other team. But then game 6 comes out, and that whole entire game was cinema. I know that the Pacers pulled it out at the end pretty steadily, and like, it definitely was like a blowout at the end. It was like a 20+ point win. But man, I just got done watching that game, and holy shit, Halliburton making all of these clutch plays down the stretch. He had like 3 possessions in a row that he hit a floater because Karl-Anthony Towns was sagging too deep off the screen. He ended the game with like 13 assists and like this deep ass 3 to cap off the game, which that was front running a little bit, but like, it was still a fun ass play. Siakam drops 31. He's one of the most underrated players in the league at this point. I really hope that he gets his flowers after this series, and hopefully he does well in the finals as well. But man, this Pacers team is really just a fun ass team. So I've kind of had a streak of naming these titles like, oh, the conference finals was cinema, or oh, it was almost cinema, or it could have been great. This conference finals kind of like falls in this middle ground for me of like, I think that the series were really interesting. I loved the matchups, and some of the games were really good, but there were also some blowouts, specifically in the Timberwolves Thunder series, where it's just like, the series was interesting at points, and it had its narratives, and it had its fun moments, but it's like, these weren't like 2 7-game series where like every game could have went either way, and like, yeah, we don't expect to get that every playoffs. But I mean, the NBA playoffs has been great this year. It's been fun basketball to watch, but these weren't the most interesting series in the world of like they could have been. But I think we did get really fun and enjoyable basketball. I'm glad that the NBA has just generally like allowed some physicality back, and I'm really excited to see what this finals brings. I'm gonna go ahead and do some outlooks for the teams real quick, and then I'll do finals predictions. This is just gonna be real quick. Starting off with the Wolves, I think that you really have to go out and get like an actual playmaker next year. I don't think that Anthony Edwards' best role on a team is when he's the primary playmaker, and with Mike Conley aging and with question marks about Rob Dillingham's ability to step into that starting point guard role already next year, especially with the lack of playing that he did this year, I think that you have to make a trade, maybe involving Jaden McDaniels or Rudy Gobert for some guy like a Garland or a Trae Young, or I don't even know who's going to be on the market or available. But yeah, I think getting Anthony Edwards out of that bringing the ball up the floor like mode and getting him more into like resetting him up in positions to score, I think will really help with not only his decision making but also his stamina throughout the course of a game. And it'll allow him to attack and be a little more aggressive when he actually does get scoring opportunities, which will be more often if you put a good point guard next to him, an actual point guard. But besides that, they made it to the conference finals 2 years in a row. Interested to see what direction they take the team in, because I don't think they can win a championship with this roster. I do think it is going to take another piece or two, so we'll see what pieces that they think is going to get them there. As for the Knicks, I don't know what to say about this team because they have one of the most talented starting fives in the entire NBA, but it's clear that with Karl-Anthony Towns' defense as a center and the way that the Mitchell Robinson, Karl-Anthony Towns double big lineup goes with teams, and that kind of allowing other teams to get out on the break, obviously it helps with like offensive rebounding and shit, but it's like the minutes that you have to play the guys on this team to structure them in a way for success, I just don't think that this is a roster that can win a championship. Like, maybe they run it back next year, maybe they have some more chemistry together, and maybe they do make it far, but I don't think that their bench is deep enough to like take them to the heights that they need to, given kind of some of the issues that come when you run certain lineups with this team. I mean, this is their second year in a row making it past the first round of the playoffs, or actually this is like their fourth year in a row making it past the first round of the playoffs, but this is their first time making it to the conference finals in a minute, and it's just like, it's clear that this team has a ceiling. I don't think that they were going to beat the Pacers or the Cavs, whichever team came out of that series. I'm surprised they even beat the Celtics, and I really don't think that they were going to beat the Thunder in the finals, so I don't even know what direction they can go in. Like, I don't have a recommendation for this team. I think all they can do is try to do some shit, potentially with like a mid-level exception, try to sign a decent guy, and then move your bench pieces around and maybe some future draft capital, which I already know that they're lacking in. So I don't even know what you can do, but you need to make a move to just get some better bench pieces, but don't touch the starting five. Like, your starting five is already fine, or the guys that are kind of in rotation for the starting five. I will say, I'm not confident in Josh Hart staying on this team. I like love him as a person and his personality and how it fits with these like Nova Knicks. Like, I like the narrative surrounding the Knicks, but I'm gonna be honest, I think that him being the all-around glue guy gets a little bit overrated. Like, him being a Swiss Army knife. Like, the fact is he just can't shoot and he just can't score consistently enough for us to play him 40 minutes a game so he can get 2 or 3 crucial rebounds and a crucial steal at some point. Like, that's just not worth it to play him 40 minutes a game when he isn't a threat to score at all and the defense doesn't have to rotate around him. So I don't even know what they can do in this offseason, but they need to do some little retooling and just see if they can run it back, I guess. And then I'm obviously not going to do future outlook for the Thunder or the Pacers because they're still playing. I now get to move on to finals predictions. Do you want what I want to happen in this finals, or do you want what I think is going to happen in this finals? Because if I'm being completely honest, if I was a betting man and I had to bet actual cash money dollars on the line, yeah, if I was a betting man, I would bet my money on the Thunder winning the series in probably about 6 games. But I want the Pacers to win in 7. I just want it to be an interesting series. I hope that these games are close, and I really think that this is literally going to be like the fastest paced finals of all time. Like the Thunder and the Pacers are just two teams that like just get out fast as fuck, and like are like very like defense, but like also getting the other defense to move in rotation oriented. And it's just going to be like a really fun series. I'm interested to see how aggressive Halliburton is going to be on a game-to-game basis. And then I'm also very interested to see how Chet and J-Dub are going to perform as like superstars in the finals now. Because I think we all are pretty confident at this point that SGA is the only player in his series, like in this series, that we know is like going to get his on any given game, on any given night. So we'll just see how the other guys in the series supplement that. I also really hope Siakam continues to play well. I think he's like a dark horse to win Finals MVP, because if the Pacers do win, it's obviously going to be him or Halliburton. And I think there's a chance that Halliburton has like an inconsistent enough series, like scoring wise, to where Siakam's numbers are enough to give him the Finals MVP. So yeah, if I'm making an actual prediction, I'm going to go Thunder in 6. I think that they're just too good of a defensive team. And I think that they're really going to slow down a lot of what the Pacers do well, as in like getting out quickly and, you know, like moving the ball a lot. I think that the handsiness of the Thunder and then the switchability of their entire team is going to nullify a lot of what makes the Pacers great. And I don't think that the Pacers can do that same thing on defense to stop the Thunder. So I got my money on the Thunder, but I would like to see the Pacers win this series, and I'd like to see a Halliburton Finals MVP, but fuck it. We got good basketball. It was a good conference finals. I'm excited. More YouTube content coming from me, blah, 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 this and that. If you like this video, I appreciate y'all for sticking on my channel. Peace out.